everyone. Thanks for checking out the blog today. We're talking about foster care, and what really made me want to put this out here is there were 650,000 kids in foster care just last year. There's over 400,000 kids that are in foster care on any given day in America, and over 11% age out of the system, which makes them susceptible to human trafficking, drug addiction, homelessness, and much more. And so today we're talking about just making a difference in these young people's lives. I have 2 interviews for you that you are not going to want to miss. And first, we're going to talk to some foster moms. Hey everyone, thanks for continuing to join us. Like I said, we have a great episode today on a subject that really touches my heart on foster care. And I have 3 foster moms here / adopted moms. Is that the technical term? Or okay?
That'll work.
Okay, good. These are my friends and neighbors. This is Gina over here. This is Rachel, and this is Christy. And they have really dedicated their lives and invested their time, their money, their hearts into these kids that need homes. And so we're just going to chat a little bit. And I first want to hear maybe from each of you quickly, what made you first decide to be a foster parent, respite parent, or adoptive parent? So anyone that wants to start? Gina? We're all staring at you. Anyone that wants to start?
Well, for me, it was just something that was put on our hearts, and it's by faith. We were in church one Sunday, and they had specific thing about foster care agency and how there was such a need. And my husband and I just looked at each other and just started weeping. And just cried, and we're like, this is something that was been on our heart for a long time. But it took us about a year to even actually start the process to be foster parents. But that's basically it. It was just something that wasn't, that I felt like, okay, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I can spend a lot of time with these kids. What's another kid in our home? So that's basically how it started for us.
How do you think that you can actually show love to someone that maybe hasn't experienced love in their own home, or for whatever reason they think love is a different kind of love or whatnot? Like, how do you guys actually reach out to these kids?
I know for us, we had a little girl that had a similar issue. She didn't know how to receive love from us, and we reached out to some therapists in the community that work with foster kids, and they gave us a lot of training. And we sat through therapy, and they taught us about how to reach her. And I think having that available, I think if you can look out into the community, there are a lot of organizations that work with foster families and give up their time, and it's all pro bono, or the state pays for it or whoever, but it hasn't come out of our pocket. And we've got tons of help and tons of professionals that have worked with us on behalf of these children, and that has really helped us just meet the needs of the children in our home.
What would you guys say to maybe someone who's watching who's a little bit older in the foster system and is feeling like it's hard to maybe find a family they fit into, or maybe just struggling from just even who they are perspective? Like, what would you say to give them hope to continue to believe for a good future? That's kind of watching these young lives. I know a lot of the kids that you get coming in are younger, maybe thinking 10 years down the road,
Right.
And they're maybe about to age out of the system or something. What would you say to that person?
My oldest has been 4 when he came, and when he left was 6. So I guess for me it would be that there's still people out there that will love you. Don't give up. There's hope. There's always hope. And there's always that perfect family. And to always, I guess, not only just believe that family's out there for you, but also just, trying to think the right word, but that does not give up. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up that there's a family there. And communicate with the people around you. Get all of the help and the services that you still have out there. And,
Awesome. That's really good. Yeah. Well, lastly, we're finishing up. Thanks so much for hanging out here, and thank you, Gina, for opening your home to us. Isn't it a nice couch, everyone? But I just want to ask you guys, where can someone that's watching get involved? Maybe they're thinking about being a foster parent, or they just want to help somebody in the community. They know someone that's a foster parent. How how can we all help you?
Wow. Well, I think becoming a foster parent, that's done
That's a big
by
one.
each state. So you'd have to go to your state. I know in our state it's dshs.wa.gov / foster parents. I would imagine each state has something similarly set up. If it's not a full-time foster parent, I think, like what Gina and her husband do,
Right.
they're respite providers. So they take the children that we have in our home and they stay with them for a weekend, a month, which is a great reprieve for us and our family, and also so fun. It's like Disneyland every weekend for the kids in our home that loves to come and play with their friends, and they're just so excited, and that is a huge help to us. There's also a process that people can do to just babysit. You have to have a background check and a couple of classes if you want to babysit foster children, and you might need to be 18 or something, but it would just give us or other foster parents that avenue of maybe having a date, which would be really cool. I think for me, those are the things that I can think of.
And you can also, if you become a foster parent but don't want to be long-term, you can also do emergency care, which is usually no longer than a month, is it? I think it's usually a weekend up to a month at the longest. And so that's kind of another way if you don't think you can commit all the way to being a foster parent for long-term.
Awesome. Thanks so much, you guys, for sharing. And thanks again for hanging out. And up next, we have an interview with Cheryl Haskins, who is the executive director at City Ministries Child Placement Services. And so check it out. Hey everyone, we're continuing talking about the foster care system and children and all that is involved, which we can't even really scratch the surface of everything that goes into all the parts that make foster homes, foster care, all that. But we are talking about it today with Cheryl Haskins here, a woman that I respect dearly. She has so many facets to her. And we also are doing another interview, just a little stay tuned. We're going to talk to her about her book, Girlfriends Don't Matter, in a blog coming up soon, so check that out. But right now we're talking about her role as the City Ministries director and executive director, and what she does is she oversees many areas of City Ministries, but one of the main parts is the Child Placement Agency. And so can you just share, maybe first and foremost, tell us what does that mean to be a director over a Child Placement Agency?
Okay. Well, City Ministries Child Placement Agency was started about 6 years ago. And what we did was come together and decide we want to take care of children in foster care, but how can we do this in the best way? And we were advised that have your own child placement agency, which means you have the ability to connect with the state directly and have children come into care that you get to oversee and place into foster homes. And not only that, you get to license the foster parents or be a part of that process. And the state actually is the only one that can license the children, the foster parents, but you take them through the entire process and make the recommendation. And so far, we have never had the state turn down any of our families. So I think we have a pretty good track record now.
Yeah, and what I think is so amazing about that is that I know you personally, you're a great judge of character, and your staff is. And I've heard stories of kids that get placed in homes for the wrong reasons, and they end up in a bad situation. So I'm so grateful that you're choosing good families that can love these kids. But what is it like for a kid that goes into a home maybe that isn't, not within your agency, but in other agencies that maybe aren't the most loving? Or what does it even mean to love a foster child that's not your own?
Well, the first thing is that there's no perfect family. So even the families that we've licensed, they're not perfect. But I think what's important is making sure you understand the families and know the families well enough so that you know what child to place in their home. That's not going to cause their family to disintegrate because of some past experience they might have had. So it's a combination of things. But what it looks like for us is we find out from the state, there's a child available. We look at, the age, whether they're boy or girl, and, and the families that only want to do boys or only want to do girls. And then we try to match up where we think the best place would be with their own children, where they are in the birth order, how their kids are feeling about it, and all of those things combined, and then we make the placement. But I think that the thing that we add to the table is that we are involved in the placement from beginning to end and supporting the foster family. Because one thing we don't want to do is destroy families that are working because they want to be helpful. And loving the children is always something the families say. The reason why they do foster care is because they want to love these kids that need love. And usually it's not love the children are lacking. I know that might sound really strange because a child only knows the love the child knows. But usually it's neglect is the main reason why children come into care. And the abuse situations aren't as many as people think. They're there, but that's not the majority. The majority are because of neglect. So these children just need stability in terms of a warm place to be, being connected, it's consistency, getting to school all the time, and all of those things getting stabilized again. That's primarily what you see. Yes, we've seen some other things as well, and we support our families to help children in those situations.
That's fantastic. I want to thank you again for being such a great example. And truly, I know some of these kids that are involved in the system and the parents, and you're doing amazing things in their lives. I'm seeing such a change in these sweet babies' lives. It's just makes me kind of teary-eyed because I love them so much, and truly these kids are changing and they're feeling loved, and the good kind of love. So thank you so much. And we're going to have the website link if you want to go to cityministries.org, find out more information, and also stay tuned. I'm sure there'll be more information about the program that they're going to be doing soon up there, and we're going to chat a little bit more about foster care, so keep on the blog. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for sharing, and thank you very much to all the foster moms that shared their hearts. And I want you to know right below I'm going to have links for resources if you would like to get involved. Also, if you are a foster mom and you just need to get into an organization or help, we also are going to have resources for you. Stay tuned because I'm going to interview a young lady who was a foster child and now she's back with her family. So we're going to get her perspective on the system and what it was like to be a foster child. So stay tuned with all of our blogs. We got lots going on here, and we'll see you next time. Bye.